Hello, 10th graders. We started with our text under the title Reading Through the Ages, and we talked about the reading history, and we said that reading is about 5 years or 5,000 years old. And how did we know that? Actually, they found the Epic of Gilgamesh, which is 5,000 years old, and we said that reading in the past is completely different from reading those days. Why? Because of digital information. Then we talked about the Epic of Gilgamesh. The Epic of Gilgamesh, it's a very long poem. We said that epic means a very long poem which is engraved حكينا منحوتة, carved into wood, and it's found in southern Iraq, and it's written by the Sumerian, and it was recited, كان تم تغنيتها وترنيمها. And the epic is talking about three things, which are heroism, friendship, and the quest of eternal life. طلب الحياة الأبدية أو طلب الحياة ما بعد الحياة, ما بعد الموت. Yes. Then we talked about the Iliad and the Odyssey, and they are two different Greek poems, and they have a lot of repeated phrases. Then we talked about Aristotle and Plato, the both Greek poets. Then we talked about the Romans, and we said that Romans have no role in literature, but they use the Greek literature. Then we talked about Europe and the degeneration of Europe. Degeneration, as we said before, it is number degenerated. It's number 8. become worse السوء اللي تعرضت له أوروبا in the dark ages. Then we talked about the Islamic generation, or the Islamic empire under the Caliph Harun al-Rashid. We talked about the House of Wisdom, and now we are going to go on to talk about the Islamic age. As the Islamic Golden Age faded, culture in Europe underwent a revival. We said before that when Europe degenerated, لما انحدرت أوروبا ودخلت into the dark ages, the Islamic empire flourished. يعني developed, يعني ماتت أوروبا وطلعت مقابلها the Islamic empire. Later on, the Islamic Golden Age faded. العصر الإسلامي الذهبي faded, اختفى. Culture in Europe underwent a revival. مين طلع في المقابل؟ Europe. It underwent a revival. What do you mean by revival? Revival means إنعاش, اللي هي number 2. To revive something, the act of becoming or making something strong or popular again. It's number 2. يعني الجولدن ايج راح بالحضارة الإسلامية، مين طلع رجع في المقابل؟ يوروب. It was the time of the Renaissance. So at that time شو كانوا يسموها هذيك الفترة بالجولدن ايج تبعت أوروبا؟ كان اسمها the Renaissance. There was a renewed interest in the works of the Greeks and the development of forms of writing such as the essay. At the time of the Renaissance, there was a renewed, صاروا جددوا اهتماماتهم in the Greek works, and they developed the essays. Do you remember when we wrote essays in the past? لما كتبنا essays? Actually, essays refer to the time of the Renaissance. هاي الفترة الزمنية اسمها فترة الرينيسانس, okay? However, literature was still mainly in the hands of the aristocracy and upper classes, the only social groups that were literate and had the time to read and write. Okay, at that time, people who could read and write were only the aristocracy, the upper class, rich people. So at that time, only rich people could read and write, اللي هي الطبقة الأرستقراطية. طبقة الأبر كلاس. المجتمع كان مقسم ل upper class, middle class and lower class. upper class اللي هم الناس الهاي لايف, الناس اللي عايشين فوق, اللي هم aristocracy, هم الوحيدين that were able to read and write. So the word literate here means it is number 6, able to read and write. الطبقة الوحيدة اللي كانت تعرف تقرأ وتكتب اللي هي upper class. Poetry became popular pastime for the wealthy. So here, poetry were only for wealthy people. Wealthy means rich people. Aristocracy, يعني ممكن تسميهم aristocracy. Or upper class or wealthy people or rich people. But all this was to dramatically change thanks to the invention of a great importance, the printing press. But everything was or underwent a change. كل إشي تغير. يعني مش بس كانوا الأغنياء هم were able to read and write, but everything has changed. Why? Because of the invention of printing press. صار في عنا طباعة. هاي الطباعة غيرت كل الأمور. In 1455, the printing press was presented to the world by Johann Gutenberg. So who invented printing? مين اخترع الطباعة؟ Johann Gutenberg. When? In 1455. It had an immediate impact. وأثرت وغيرت فينا هاي printing press. The cost of publishing books dropped dramatically and book prices therefore fell. So book and reading became for everyone. Why? Because book prices were less than before. في البداية حكينا that only rich people could read and write. But when they invented printing, لما صار في عنا طباعة, the prices became less expensive. رخصت الكتب, so everyone could read and write. Literature was no longer only available to privileged few. So القراءة هون ما عادت للأغنياء. privileged هي معناهم ذو الامتيازات اللي هي number 7, having an advantage or opportunity that most people do not have. ما عادت القراءة لهدول الجماعة بس, but reading had become for everyone. And the fact that more people had access to books also influenced what writers wrote about. So, because everyone had the chance to read and write and buy books, the writers started writing new stuff. Collection of popular legends and folk tales were published, and texts written in prose started to appear in print. So صار في عنا أنواع كتابة جديدة, مش زي زمان لما صار الكل بيقدر يقرأ والكل بيقدر يشتري كتب. So writers started to write new things such as legend and folk tales. What do you mean by legend? الأساطير. folk tales الأشياء الشعبية, القصص الشعبية. And prose. What do you mean by prose? prose اللي هي عكس البويتري. prose نثر, مش شعر, نثر, اللي هي number 4, writing that is not poetry. So prose means نثر, رقم 4. writing that is not poetry. It was the beginning of a revolution that was to make reading an essential skill for everybody. So here they are telling you that reading is for everyone. Why? Because of the invention of printing. صار في عنا طباعة, so سعر الكتب صار رخيص, so everyone could read and buy books at that time.